Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another edition of Let That Sink In. Well, I'm your host, Don P. And today, with Black History coming to an end, this is my Black History edition, my dedication of Black History, which is important to the Black culture, to the African American. So I want to dedicate this edition to Black History as it comes to a close. Because in school, we really wasn't taught Black history. We were taught slavery and civil rights movement era. And Black history goes way beyond that. And I'm just going to touch on a few points. I'm not going to go deep into Black history, but I would advise everyone to, if you get a chance, to just read up on your history, and not just from what you learned in school, not about slavery, because we all know what that was all about and how that came about and how that turned out. And I would say, get more into the civil rights movement, but go beyond Martin Luther King. Find out who was important in that movement other than Martin Luther King. I mean, of course, he played a great role in it, had major influence in it, but go a little deeper than just Martin Luther King, because there were other pioneers that were integral in that time and in that movement. But today, I just want to go over inventions, because a lot of people don't really understand how impactful we are in what you see today as a society on things that were invented that played a major role in the progress of the progression of the United States of America. And I just want to say this as a side note. A lot of things were invented by Black people that they never got credit for, or their inventions were stolen. But I'm just going to give you a few inventions that were invented by the African Americans and what they invented. So you see, I have my Barack Obama shirt on. I don't know, you probably can't see it, but I got my Barack Obama shirt on. And the reason why I wore this is because this is going to go down as the first Black president that the United States have ever had, and which was monumental to America, because I never thought I would see it in my lifetime, but it happened. And I was proud of that. And that was the second president that I ever voted for. But that's not important at this time. But I did vote for Barack Obama. And after looking at it from a point of history and looking back on it, I'm not disappointed that I voted for him, because when I voted for him, I'm not going to lie, I voted for him because he was a Black man. And I thought that would have been big for the United States of America as an African American and the African Americans in the United States today. And I'm not disappointed in voting for him. But I do feel, on a total grand scheme of everything, I was disappointed. Very, very, very disappointed, because he didn't stand up for Blacks as I thought he should. And that's my opinion. Now, you all may have your own opinions, and I'm quite sure that you do, and that's fine. But in my opinion, I don't think that he did a lot of help for, didn't give a lot of help for the Black Americans, the African Americans. And I know, I have this conversation with others, and they'll say, their defense will be, well, he had his hands tied. He couldn't do anything because everything he tried to do, they shot it down. But the political system is way deeper than what you think it is. And like I said before, I really don't like to get into politics because it splits the room. And because it's so deeply ingrained into people that, they'll fight for a system that isn't fighting for them. You understand? So I'm not into politics. I don't believe in politics as an African American. I mean, it works for them and the system, but as an African American, it doesn't work for us because the system wasn't built for us. So, with that being said, I just want to say that I was very disappointed. And they, like I said, they would say, he had his hands tied. Now, if he had his hands tied, how was he able to get across the Obamacare, which did a lot of damage for health insurance for, the working class? But it was all part of the plan. So he was just used as a pawn to implement what they all wanted anyway. And when I say they all wanted, I mean as the system. But another point that I want to make, and I'm just not going to harp on this, but I want to say it, is when you look at Donald Trump, no one said, oh, his hands are tied. They're going to shoot down everything that he tries to implement. He did what he wanted to do. He came in and straight gangstered the system and did what he wanted to do. That's why I will give Donald Trump that credit, because he did what he wanted to do. He stood on what he wanted to stand on, and there wasn't anyone that was going to deter him from doing those type of things. And I know I'll probably get a lot of people say, well, how can you give him credit for that? Because he didn't play the puppet role. But I understand politics and how it go, and I understand that what part Obama played in it and anything. But I just want to say that I don't regret Obama being in there, because it gave a lot of people hope for the plight of the black man and the black woman in America. So hopefully that gave them motivation to be greater and want to achieve greater things in their life. That's why I say I'm not disappointed, because it gave hope. And, a lot of times people say hope is a dream. So, but it's okay to dream sometime, just long as it don't stay as a dream. But we're going to go into the what I said before. Going to go into some inventions that you may not know that black people invented in today's society, things that you use on a daily that you might not know that black people have invented. So let's start out. I got a lot of them here, but I'm not going to read them all off because for time's sake. But I just want to go maybe touch on a few of them that you might not know that black people did, that they invented. One I want to I want to announce is um let's go. Let's see here. Let's go with now if you go and you look up black inventors, you're gonna see this woman's name a lot. And she invented the home security system. Her name is Marie Brown. She invented the home security system. So if you got a home security system on your home, thank Mary Brown. Um, and if you like to have sharp and crispy clothes, give thanks to Sarah Boone for the ironing board. And C.B. Brooks invented the street sweeper. Yep. And Oscar E. Brown invented the horseshoe. And I'm not talking about the horseshoes that you just play horseshoes with in the game. I'm talking about the horseshoes that go on horses, which was very important back when you look at early civilization. You know, it gave horses shoes so they wouldn't tear up their hoofs when they did all that traveling that they did on horses. And this is a big one right here because it lets you allow you to have a beautiful yard in the front. John A. Burr invented the lawnmower. Now, this one is big. Now, I don't think y'all really understand how big this one is. And you might just think that it was just a simple invention, but the typewriter was invented by Burridge and Marshman. The typewriter, it was pivotal because you didn't have to write anymore. Didn't have to, write out everything. You could type. You could type whatever it is that you wanted. And the typewriter was almost as important as in that time as the cellular phone. And all y'all keep y'all cellular phone in your hand. So we want to give credit to them for making that typewriter. And let's go with peanut butter. George W. Carver. Yeah, the peanut butter. Also invented lotions and soaps. For all y'all rusty people out there, y'all ought to give credit to him. The printing press was made by W.A. Lavalette. The envelope seal was F.W. Leslie. Let's go with the pressure cooker. I know that's a big one. Maurice W. Lee. Yep. The pencil sharpener. For all of y'all used to get up and sharpen y'all pencil in school back in the day. I know that's kind of dating myself because they don't really use pencil sharpeners anymore. But yeah, the pencil sharpener, that was big back in the day. Because you got to get up and sharpen your pencil and show off your outfit when you were dressed real, real nice. And that was made by John L. Love. And the fire extinguisher was made by Tom Marshall. All right. Okay, let's go to, now this one is big because as you get older, you would thank this guy so you don't have to walk up those stairs anymore. Alexander Miles invented the elevator. Yep. And give a shout out to this guy because he plays a major part in your daily travels every day as you go out into the world. Is Garrett Morgan. He made the traffic signal, and he also made the gas mask. Oh, and I gotta thank this lady. Oh, I appreciate her so much because she made the heating furnace. Without her, we'd be sitting in cold houses and or still lighting up wood, which is Alice H. Parker. And the fountain pen was made by W.D. Purvis. Let's see. The baby buggy. So you could walk your baby around when you got her, when you had them and wanted to take them with you, was W.H. Richardson. And the clothes dryer was made by G.T. Sampson. The lawn sprinkler for you to have a nice lawn was J.W. Smith, right? Okay. Now this one is nice. Was the automatic gear shift was RB Spikes. Yep, that was a good one. Oh, and I know they would appreciate this guy. You know, from like I say, back in early civilization, when they didn't have automobiles, he made the WMD Davis. He might be kin to me. Made the horse riding saddle. Yeah, that was big. Yep. And W.A. Diets. I'm not sure how to say that. Hoping I'm not butchering that last name. But he made the shoe. So y'all could walk around here. Y'all didn't have to wear sandals all day and show y'all ugly feet. Yeah. Oh, this one is nice right here. This guy made the arm for the record player, Joseph Dickinson. I appreciate that because I love me some music. And this guy, he made Old Dorsey. Now that, I'm not saying, I said guy. It might be a woman. I don't know. It says Old Dorsey made the doorstop and the doorknob. Right? Okay. Let's go. Okay. T. Elkins, he made the toilet, the commode. Yeah, so you can, you didn't have to go out to the outhouse and, and just squat or anything like that. You could have a seat. And the guitar was made by Robert Fleming Jr. Yup. And then I seen this guy a lot when I was doing a lot of research. George F. Grant, he made the golf tee. Okay. Let's go to this guy because he had several. He made, this guy's name is Frederick M. Jones. He made the defroster, the air conditioner unit, the 2-cycle gas engine. Oh, that's big right there. Internal combustion engine, starter generator, and the refrigeration controls. So that guy, he did a lot. We see a lot of his inventions still around today that we use on a daily basis. Yep. Latimer Nichols made the electric lamp. That's good. Okay. J. Standard, he made the refrigerator. All right. Let's see. This guy right here, he did a lot too, so I'm gonna have to give him a shout out. Greenville T. Woods, he made the electric cutoff switch, the telephone transmitter, the relay instrument, the telephone system. Oh, if it wasn't for this guy, boy, y'all be out in the cold if y'all didn't get to use that telephone. The electromechanical brake, so you can stop your car. The galvanic battery, electric railway system, the roller coaster, for all y'all like to go out there to Six Flags, thank him for that, and the auto air brake. Yeah, this guy. Oh, this one is big. I like this one. Paul E. Williams, he made the helicopter. Shout out to him. Now I gotta say this one because this one a lot of y'all may have heard back in the day. They tried to steal his invention and they didn't want to pay him for it, and he eventually got his patent awarded to him, which is worth millions. This guy's name is Lonnie Johnson. That name ring a bell. It probably rings a bell because he made the Super Soaker. Yep. They tried to steal his patent. If you just look it up and just look at a little bit of the history of that, he was finally awarded his patent for that. And they tried to steal it, and then they didn't want to give it to him, but he got it, and he got that patent for the Super Soaker, and now he's well off man. And Dr. Charles Drew, the blood plasma, yep, the pacemaker controls, Otis Boykin, and he made the guided missile too. Wow, that's he was in there. He was using that brain. And then a programmable remote control was made by Joseph Jackson. And he also made the Video Commander. And he also, no, he didn't make the multi-stage rocket, you know, Adolf Shams. So those are a lot of inventions that were made by blacks that maybe you didn't know. But yeah. So, African Americans, they played a lot in the development of what you see today. And a lot of stuff has been stolen and they haven't been given the credit for. But hopefully, those patents and those inventions will eventually come out so you can understand how innovative our people were, growing up back when we didn't have much and we were using our brain to invent. And I got a couple of more that I want to go through. And I want to give some information on Mary Anderson. She was patented with the windshield wiper in 1905. And I was looking at a documentary one time when they were trying to, because they had one windshield wiper back in the day, and they had sold that invention to Ford Motor Company. So Ford Motor Company didn't want to give that patent or that recognition to that person. So that's where the double wiper came from. And they took the patent for that. And they try to say that they were the owner, the inventors of the windshield wiper. But Mary Anderson, that was her patent for the windshield wiper. Yep. And I want to say about Elijah McCoy. Now, this inventor was the inventor of the automatic lubricator. And this automatic lubricator was for the railroad system, for the trains. But this is where that phrase comes from, the real McCoy. That's where that phrase comes from, is from Elijah McCoy, because Elijah McCoy invented an automatic lubricator that helped spread lubrication over a train engine while it was moving, before the train had to stop so lube could be applied manually, which meant travel delays. His invention was so popular that many inferior copycat products flooded the market. So they were copying his invention. But that's where the term the real McCoy comes from, because they were having imitations of his invention. And he came up with that invention, and give props to him. And that's where that term comes from, the real McCoy, Elijah McCoy. Born in 1844, died in 1929. Yep. Now, I have one more inventor that I want to speak on. One more inventor that I want to speak on, because I think this is pivotal. Yeah, this is pivotal. So, and you're going to hear more about her. And because she's doing big things. I mean, big things. I mean, it's so big that I'm kind of scared for her. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But her name is, and I know I'm probably going to butcher her name, but I'm going to say it and I'm going to spell it out so you all can look her up. And you might just be able to look her up from her last name, but she's doing big things. And I really, really, really want y'all to keep an eye on this, because this can be groundbreaking. Her name is Dr. Hydia Nicole Green. And that's Dr. Hydia, Hadiyah, Nicole Green. Now, any of y'all know about her, you know that she's doing big things. So let me read this off to you. And this is her quote. My goal is to change the way cancer is treated. So listen to this. I just want to read this for you. Dr. Hadia Nicole Green is a STEM pioneer, leader, humanitarian, and entrepreneur who is introducing the world to the next generation of cancer treatment, cancer charities, and affordable health care. She is one of the nation's leading medical physicists and one of the first African American women to earn a PhD in physics. Dr. Green developed a revolutionary cancer treatment that uses lasers and nanotechnology to eliminate cancer in mice after only one 10-minute treatment in just 15 days with no observable side effects. Yeah. And I heard about this woman a while back, and she was explaining. I actually heard about her the first time on the Ricky Smiley show. Ricky Smiley had him had her on his show. Shout out to Ricky Smiley. And I just want to send my condolences for him losing his son recently. But he had her on his show, and she was explaining how the technology works. And what it is she used radio frequencies to energize when the cancerous cells or parts of the body is the beam is put into that cancerous area. She generates a radio frequency that breaks up the cancer in that area, which you don't have to go through chemo and lose your hair or all these type of things. And you can get rid of cancer with no side effects. And did you hear that? That was 10-minute treatment in just 15 days and no observable side effects. That is big. Now, with that being said, she is innovative in taking down cancer the way that they want to take care of cancer, which is treatment, right? Because they was saying, if you know anything about the medical industry, they don't want to cure anything. They just want to treat it because that's where the money is made. So there's no money in the cure. There's money in the treatment. So that's why they don't want to get rid of cancer. We already know how you can get rid of cancer. You can get rid of cancer from the way you eat, because the cancer comes from the food that we eat. So, and it's already been proven, but I just want to focus on her right now. And that's big because she is doing big things in destroying cancer. Now, as you know, cancer is a big industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry. Through the health insurance scam. Did I say that? Through the health insurance, through the hospital scam, and the treatment. It's a billion-dollar business, multi-billion-dollar business. But she's implementing something that will cure cancer. So keep your eyes on her. Keep your eyes on her. Listen for more information on her as she progresses in her studies and in her cancer treatments. Remember that name, and just remember that name and keep that name in your brain. And I just I love when I see blacks, African Americans do big things like that, because it's in us. I mean, as I read off all the inventions from, time, we have been resilient people that has stood up and did big things throughout time, but we have been held down and oppressed to not to get that recognition that we deserve because we built everything here. We built everything here, you know. From the Washington D.C. monuments, buildings, and all, we built it. The streets, the railroad systems, the cars, the farms, we built it. We built this country. Yeah, and this country has not paid us for that. So, with that being said, you can see that we have been resilient people. And when they tell you that you're lazy or you're dumb or you're whatever it is they try to tell you to be derogatory, just remember that you are not that. You are a beautiful black race, a beautiful black culture that they even love, but they won't tell you that, but they even love, right? So, with that being said, I just want to ask the question, knowing that we were those type of people coming up through the years and the earlier centuries and all the way from the time that we've been here, where did we go wrong? When did we jump off the track? When did we start living this barbaric, this lifestyle that we live today, that where we don't even love our own brother, and we buy into the stereotypes that they've been telling us? When did we get to this point? Because I mean, when I look back and I look at some of the footage from back in the early 1900s up into, maybe like the 70s. Do you see the pictures that when we used to dress nice? We used to be with our people. We used to stand with our people. We had love for our people, our communities. We had love for one another. We catered to one another. We built business for one another. Shout out to Black Wall Street and all the other black cities. There's some that's underwater now that we generated back in the day. We were proud individuals. And now we've gotten to the point where we don't act like we don't even love each other. We don't even like each other. We go against each other. I mean, I know where it comes from, but I just want y'all to think and wonder, where does that come from? So I'm going to give you where that comes from. It comes from what they have fed us in the media, and we bought into it. So what I'm asking you is, stop buying into the hype of what it is that they're telling you who you are. Don't let anybody tell you who you are. You go out and learn who you are. Learn from your ancestors, the pioneers and your forefathers. Because they did all these things so you could be here and not be embarrassing to them. Not saying that everybody's embarrassing. I'm not saying that. But you know what I'm saying. I'm saying for those that believe that narrative that they try to paint of us, stop buying into that. Use your mind. Stop being who they tell you that you are. Be who you are. And you know you're better than that and you're greater than that. And I'm speaking to everybody, but I'm really want to get this drilled down into the head of the younger people, because see, they can make a change. A lot of the older generation, they're stuck in their ways and they stuck in their beliefs or whatever. But the impressionable minds out there, I want to speak to and let them know that you can be any. That's why I wore this Obama t-shirt. You can be anything that you want to be. You just got to set your mind to it. I know it sounds cliche. I know you heard it before, but you can be anything that you want to be. You just got to go out there and strive to get it. Put together you a plan and be ready for the struggle, because it's going to be hard. I'm not going to sit here and just feed you some crap. It's going to be hard. But you can do it. You see all the things that we came through. You don't think that was hard? And nothing good comes easy. I tell you that all the time. If you go and look at, a lot of my podcasts, I tell you that all the time. Nothing comes easy. The blessing is in the hard place. So get ready for the fight. Get ready for the failures and get ready for the tough times. But you can make it because it's there for you. That's what it was put there for you to go out and obtain it, right? But I just want to know, where did we go wrong? Now, I know this may not be popular, but, as I told you in the beginning, and if you go look at my intro video, I told you we're going to ruffle some feathers and we're going to have some difficult conversations. But, hey, let's have a conversation about it. And I just want to challenge the minds of the people that's out there and the people that see this. And I just want you to think about it. I said, I want to know, did MLK lead us in the wrong direction? Now, I know it's going to be people that say no. It's probably going to be some people that say yes. But this is why I asked that question. Because even he admitted that he said, I think I've led my people into a burning house. Meaning, he integrated us into something that was not for us. And now you see a lot of us trying to get our validation from other races. They want to sit down at the table with the other races instead of setting their own table and sitting at their own table. They want to sit at their table. And I understand why, because they have the power, they have the money. But at some time, you're going to have to break away if you want total freedom. You don't even have to have total freedom. If you want to have freedom, you're going to have to break away from the system and create your own infrastructures and create your own systems. Because if you're not in control of anything, you will never be free. You will always be under somebody's authority. And I'm not talking about because you also need structure. So you're going to be up under some authority, but it will be your own from your idealistic point of views and the way that that fits the way you need to be governed. Right? So I say, did MLK lead us in the wrong direction? Back in the 60s, when we were all together and our fight was the same, we all stood together. We stood hand in hand. We walked together. We talked together. We loved together. We loved one another. And then it was when we got into the 70s, when the welfare system came around, when the Planned Parenthood came around, when they started taking the black man out of the family, is when they destroyed the black family. And it was all by design. It's all by design. No matter what you want to think. And there's no one going to tell me anything different because I've seen it, I see it, and I saw it. Right? The best way to destroy someone is to break them apart where they can never come together. Right? Because there's power in numbers and there's strength in families. So, with that being said, I just want to say, get your families back together. And black men, stand up and be strong. Be the kings that you are called to be, and that you were put here to be, to lead your family. Get away from this baby mama crap and baby daddy crap, and get back to being families again, because that's the only way we're going to survive. Because, if you don't stand together, you're going to fall for anything. Just like they always say, just like the old wisdom says, and it even says it in the Bible. If you believe in the Bible, it says, a house divided against itself shall not stand. And they know this, and this is why they fight so much for you to be pitted against each other instead of together. So, with that being said, I just ask that you just be more cognizant of family values and how important that is for the younger generation to see. Right? Because if you know anything about the Willie Lynch, it did so much damage to the black family. It was almost as detrimental and disastrous as the crack epidemic. It did major damage, and it's still doing major damage today. And if you don't know about Willie Lynch, it is putting it was the Willie Lynch was how to create a slave. And what it talks about is how you pit two entities against each other so they will never be together and come together and have power. So what it did was it talked about the darks going against the lights, the tall going against the short, the skinny against the fat, the man against the woman. So if you keep them fighting, then they will never see what you're doing to them behind the scenes. And we still do that today. One of the terms that everybody use all the time now, oh, he hating on me or she hating on me, because it's so much focused on hate now instead of love. That's why you don't hear R&B anymore. Not like back in the day R&B, because R&B used to talk about love. So the radio stations took R&B out of the game, and now all you hear is reckless behavior by the young R&B artists, so-called R&B artists, that keeps the miseducating the younger impressionable minds, that keeps you going into that spiral. All this is by design. So you have to understand that, and you have to fight against the beast, which is the machine, which is the system, right? Because we were together back in the day, because all of our plights were the same. We were all fighting for freedom. Now, you got people that think that they've received a lot of freedom, so they don't want to fight anymore. They they got the I got mine mentality, you get yours mentality. And that's a sad state of being, where you supposed to grab one and pull one up when you get up. But now in this capitalistic society, everybody always like, oh, I got the information, you got to pay for it. And one thing I always vowed, I said, if I ever get to a point where I could help somebody. Now I'm not. I take that back. Well, if I ever got to a financial position where I'm good and I can help somebody, I give them the game for free. And everybody wants you to pay nowadays. You see all these, watch this, my master class or this, or pay for this. And I know people, time is money. I understand that. I do understand time is money. But it's a point where you get to where you could just maybe grab 10. Say, I'm going to give y'all the game for free. I'm finna change y'all's lives for your families. So maybe your families you can build off of this, and then you can go and set your family up for success. Because a lot of times we just don't have the resources, and we always fighting out the mud to try to get it. And, somebody fumble the bag and it's all over. But if you could just get the families going, all it takes is one to get the families going. If that's your mission, get your families going and going in the right direction, and fund some entrepreneurship, some businesses, or some investments, or buying some land, whatever the case may be. You can set people up for life. And that is one of my missions. And, that's one of the things that I want to do here with this podcast. I want to spark those minds to get people to a point where we're not begging for crumbs off nobody's table. Right? So with that being said, I just want to say we need to get back to loving ourselves. Because, see, if we love ourselves, then we can love others. And it's so much dysfunction and hurt and pain in our communities that we just hurting others. I know you heard the term hurt people. So a lot of hurt is going on in our communities, and that's why people are going out and they're hurting others. Right? So we got to heal that pain. We have to heal that pain. We got to get back to loving ourselves. We got to do what we need to do to love ourselves. We got to get back to that point. Else, we're going to be doomed if we keep on accepting and buying into the narratives that they're painting for us, because as you can see, it's getting greater and greater, because the effect is getting to the point where it's destroying families and it's destroying people. I mean, I don't want to speak on this yet, but because that's going to be another topic down the line, but we need to get back to loving one another. We love ourselves first. We need to love ourselves first. Make sure you do what it is that you need to do to love yourself. Get back to loving you. Get some love in your heart. Start listening to love, things that brings out love and not hate. Stop looking at things that promote hate. All right? Get back to loving yourselves. That's what we have to do. So I had some more topics that I wanted to speak on, but as you can see, we running into we press for time. But I just want to say one more thing before we get up out of here is I want to ask the question: does the Black community suffer from PTSD? And if you don't know what that means, that's post-traumatic stress syndrome. Because we've been traumatized. Our community has been traumatized. And I think that's where a lot of the hate is coming from. It's coming from our trauma. So we have to heal that trauma, whatever it is that we suffered in throughout, our families or in our neighborhoods, our communities, wherever we suffered that trauma from. We have to heal that trauma, because I really do believe that this is post-traumatic stress that we're suffering from and we're not getting healed from. So all I ask is, do you some meditation, get you some treatment, get you some therapy, get around people that love, get some love and let that love rub off on you. Get some love in your heart, and let's love again. Let's get back to the love, like that old song used to say. Let's get back to the love, because love is God and God is love. So I'd like to thank y'all for hanging out with me. I know I didn't plan on going this long, but I don't regret it, because I think we could get a lot of information from the things that I said, and I know it probably sparked some things in your mind to, think about. And all I want to say is teach your kids to be innovative. Go beyond that school education. Get your kids into reading about their forefathers and their ancestors and those inventors that invented things, and let them know that we were resilient people. We were great people. We were thriving people. We were not gangsters. We were not whores, and we are not thugs. No matter what they try to tell you, you're not that. You are God's child. And with that being said, I'd like to thank y'all. Thank y'all again. Thank you for another episode of Let That Sink In. And we'll be back, and we're going to have some more conversation. Might ruffle some feathers, might not. We might do something fun. I don't know yet, but we just come back. And before we leave, I would like you to like, comment, and subscribe and share these videos. Help me get in the algorithm, with this information, and let us keep going up. And I like to thank you again for allowing me to be part of your life and giving you some information from a different perspective, maybe, or a different point of view, and spark that mind, that resilient mind that you have out there. I just like to thank y'all, and I would like to say peace.